On November 20, 1820, the American whaling ship Essex was attacked by a sperm whale in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. The whale rammed the ship, sinking it in minutes. The crew was left stranded in 3 small whaling boats, thousands of miles from land. This was the real-life disaster that inspired Herman Melville's Moby-Dick. This is the story of survival, cannibalism, and madness. The Essex was a 238-ton whaling ship, designed to withstand the rigors of the Pacific. But it was no match for an 85-foot sperm whale. The whale charged the ship, ramming it with such force that the hull was shattered. The crew scrambled to evacuate, barely escaping with their lives. The crew managed to launch 3 whaling boats, equipped with minimal supplies. They had little food and less water. They were thousands of miles from the nearest land. Their survival depended on reaching the coast of South America. The men sailed for weeks. They were forced to ration their food, but it was not enough. They began to die. One by one, the crew succumbed to starvation, thirst, and despair. There was no rescue coming. They were alone. The survivors were forced to make a terrible decision. They began to eat the bodies of their dead crewmates. It was a desperate act of survival, a choice no one should ever have to make. But they were not just eating the dead. They were deciding who would be next. After 90 days at sea, the remaining survivors were rescued by the whaling ship Dolphin. They had survived the unthinkable. But the horror was not over. The survivors were traumatized by what they had done. They had crossed a line from which there was no return. The story of the Essex would inspire Herman Melville. He met the captain of the Essex, George Pollard Jr., and heard his story. Pollard was still haunted by the tragedy. Melville would write Moby-Dick, a novel about a whaling captain's obsessive quest for revenge against a whale. But here is the question that remains: was the whale acting out of revenge? The Essex was not the only ship attacked by sperm whales. There were others. Perhaps the whales were fighting back. Or perhaps it was just an accident. The story of the Essex is a reminder of the cruelty of the sea, and the darkness that lies within the human heart.